Hello, welcome to 4 Degrees Funnier. I'm JC.
And I'm Darian.
And we
Joined
have
by,
Allie.
sorry,
Knock
Producer
knock.
Allie.
Anybody home?
Producer Allie is here. Hello.
A little bit slow.
Allie,
It's late
Allie's
here.
getting ready for bed, so
Yeah.
she's a little sleepy gal tonight.
Yeah.
Well, how's everybody's week been? What's new and poppin' this week?
Um, man, I'm trying to
Wow,
think if I've done a single thing.
you're really scratching that brain there.
I've been pretty chill, I feel. I mean, Allie's in Toronto currently,
hmm
so I feel like she's been busier than I. I've just been,
I also forget that it's Monday,
it is Monday. Oh,
Yeah,
so
week just started.
it just started. I didn't go to work today, so I played hooky. Not really. I didn't play hooky. I had an appointment, but I had to go all the way to Lethbridge for.
what?
Yep. Real hard done by, but went down to my parents' house last night, and then I had my appointment this morning, and then hoofed her all the way back up to Calgary today. So I'm just making tracks today.
Crikey. Hope
So
your appointment went well.
thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just get to lay there, and sit in a machine. So it's for my kidneys.
Oh, I was
Remember
gonna
that
say,
thing?
it's about that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So no big
Weird that I
deal.
know this is an annual thing?
To
Or
every 2 years.
okay, I was like, why do I know the time of year? Like, I'm like,
I know,
it's
right?
gotta be in the spring.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so specific.
Yeah, so I mean, should I last time I did it, they were like, "Oh yeah, all's good." And I'm like, "Okay, sweet, cool." Then they were like, "See you in 2 years," and I was like, "Why?"
Like, so this is for life?
Yeah, I literally was laying
Okay.
there today thinking that I was like, "Am I gonna be like 48 laying on this table, like, and every year up until I am that age?" That's wild.
That
But I
is,
don't think so. I think I'm gonna fight it if they're like, "Come back, but everything looks good." I'll be like, "Why don't you guys check in like 7 years,
yeah, let's
maybe?" You
push it.
know?
Let's do 5 next, and then let's see. Yeah. Huh.
Also, it's like a jaunt, but like I like my doctor down there, so like it's always a hard part. Like I don't want to like switch.
Totally.
Well, actually, crazy story. Okay, the first doctor that I had, so these are for my kidneys, so they're called a urologist. So my first urologist, just for the people who don't know,
Yeah.
my first urologist, I got referred to Calgary for, and I was like midway between Calgary and Lethbridge at the time. So they just sent me to Calgary, whichever. That's I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
He died. Yeah, of like cancer or something like that. So it was, they were like, would you like to go Lethbridge? And I'm like, but I guess if there's a live urologist there, yeah, I'll go. Like, so I
Yeah.
only met the man one time, and then after that, unfortunately, he passed away.
I don't
That's
know
what I
what I
heard though.
thought
Like,
you were
I
gonna
don't,
say, but
pardon?
I don't know what
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say. But when you said he died, I literally choked on my water. Like,
I have good stories. I mean, sad for that man's family, obviously, but like it was like I needed to follow up in 2 years. Well, this just goes to show you a lot can happen in 2 years because I was like, oh, my doctor so and so, and they were like, ooh, yeah,
Well,
no,
man, I feel like I don't know if Allie remembers this, but I had a pediatric urologist, obviously. I saw like every fucking 3 months until I was 16. And I got changed very rapidly from one to the other. And I remember something happening, whether or not he retired or he died. But I remember being like upset by it because, this is someone I've gone to like, I've, I've gotten to know and like I trust.
yeah,
And then at like 7, they're like, it's this girl now. And she was mean. And I remember being like, I don't want to go anymore. And my mom was like,
yeah.
you have to. And I'm like, but the other guy was so funny and like lighthearted. And now this girl's mean to me.
I know that was like me with orthodontists back in the day.
Change is no good.
Change is no good. And like we moved so much that when we moved to Halifax, I already had the braces on. And like I was already in the town where they were like, yeah, no, girl, like you're pretty fucked up. You got to go to Brandon. So I had to go to Brandon to get my wait. Was it Brandon? No. I think I had to go to Winnipeg because lots of other kids went to Brandon.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, you got to go to Winnipeg. Yeah, I had to go to Winnipeg. Sorry, I've said that 18 times now. If you guys didn't know, I had to go to Winnipeg to
Perfect.
get my braces. And then when I moved to Halifax, I went to this one girl or whatever, and this is when my like mouth history started.
Okay.
She was like, not taking your case unless you get a skin graft in your mouth. And I was like, pardon. Like,
Excusez-moi?
excuse-moi one more time.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, she said, not one, but two. I said, well, I'll find another one. And my mom said, well,
Well, maybe we need the skin graft.
maybe
And
we need
then
that.
it
And
started
I
to
did
hurt.
it. And then here I am last year, had another friggin' surgery because of it, because of that. Well, I shouldn't call her a stupid lady. She's probably very smart, but she wasn't very kind. And I was like, I'm not vibing with it. I don't believe what you tell me. And then you made me go and get this, and it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So, like, you know,
Dog.
where does it come out in the wash? That's the real question.
Yeah. Ugh. I
So,
was just talking to a kid about this. Obviously, I had this kid come in the other day. He was like, I gotta go to the dentist after. And I'm like, oh, do you like the dentist? You know, what did you buy? And he was like, yeah, I don't mind the dentist. He's like, although I don't like the fluoride, you know, that feeling you get. And I said, yeah, yeah. And I was like, when we were kids, because we would drive to Saskatchewan for our dentist. And there's a Dairy Queen there. Obviously, no Dairy Queen in our town. So when we'd go, it was kind of like, well, obviously we have to get Dairy Queen. But they'd like put the fluoride on and be like, no eating for 30 minutes. And we'd be like, but what are we going to do about Dairy Queen? Like, because we're heading there right now. Because, like,
yeah,
no way we drove all the way here and we're not going to get some ice cream.
yeah,
And I told this kid, like, I know we just went there anyway and got the ice cream and kind of hoped by the time we ate it, it was kind of 30 minutes. But, like,
yeah.
YOLO.
YOLO. You got to do what you got to do. That was kind of like, I would say like not talked about enough. Like the perks of childhood is when you had to go somewhere for appointments and the little like treats and time that you got away from school and everything. Oh, them were the days. And the car nap as well. Are you kidding me?
Dude.
Sign me up for that 18 times.
As a chronically ill child, I spent a lot of time driving to Winnipeg for my specialists, and they were like little mom and me, and my grandma would always come, little dates, we'd go, and they'd always take me shopping. We'd always go to Red Lobster, and it was just the three of us, and it was like this, like, especially when you have siblings, like it was this, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is my time. Like, no offense, but Allie's sitting here. I'm
Like I
just
love you, but like Jesus Christ, couldn't wait to get away from you.
loved it. I would just always be like, oh, we have to go back. Like, and then when they'd push them, be like, you don't have to come for 6 months. I was like, but
You're just like standing behind them, like, no, no, no,
like,
no.
no, we'll be back in
Tell
2
them next week.
Yeah, we'll be here always. I love my
Yeah.
days with my mom and my grandma. Yeah, so
Well,
sick.
I mean, like I'm near 30. Okay, I'm a strong 29. I'm not even like And my mother came with me today.
Well, obviously.
I mean, it was that or dad. Like it
No.
wasn't even like they were like, "Who do you want to go with you?" And I was like, "Well, both." But
Yeah.
you know,
If I only have to choose one. I actually
Yeah.
have both of my parents flying out for separate weeks for my foot surgery coming up.
like blessed are we though. You know what I mean? Like we have the best parents in the world, so like
None of the
we're
time.
so lucky. But yeah, like I mean, minor inconveniences or anything. Like we said, like 911, hello, mom.
Yeah,
Can
right?
you help me out?
You help me? My last surgery, they were like, you can only bring one person in to like your pre-op room. Who do you want to come with you? And it was like my mom and Tim, and I was like, my mom. I was like, what? I'm like, my mom's gonna hold my hand when I get the IV, so like we gotta go. Like,
I know, right?
I'm like,
Emergency
okay.
contact.
Yeah, like my mom. Yeah, call my
Yeah.
mom.
Call my mom. Like, yeah, it's so true. I mean, like, I think that trend of like, this is my emergency contact is so true.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I'm like doing something so janky, and you're like, wait a second.
yeah. And like, Alex is very responsible. He's a very responsible man. But like, what's he going to do for me?
Yeah.
You know? Like, not that he can't do it, but like, you don't have to ask my mom. You
Yeah,
know what
like,
I mean?
100%.
They're always one step ahead.
Yeah.
Moms, for some reason.
Moms are amazing.
They're amazing.
Yeah, like you just call them and you say like, my throat's closing. They don't ask you 40 questions.
Yeah.
They just
for
come
more.
get you. They take you to the hospital. Whereas like if I call Adam, he'd be like, wait, slow down. And he would
Yeah.
make me repeat it. Then he'd ask me like, well, are you sure? What did you eat?
So
What are your
true.
symptoms? And I'd be like, I can't answer these. I'm dead. By that time,
He's
I'm
like-
dead.
No.
He's like, speak up, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't focus. The room's too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm
Yeah.
swimming really quick. Could you just give me a minute?
I'm actually in the middle of a task. Can you wait till it's over and then tell me? Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Oh man. man. God bless him, but
Honestly. But yeah, no, it's like
true.
mom's got to stay. Actually, I feel like the other day my phone notified me that Tim was my emergency contact, and I was like, yes. Oh, I don't want to show
You were
us.
like,
I was
change
gonna
that.
show you. But like it says emergency contact, and I don't remember ever changing that
That's so weird.
because
Well,
my
do
mom
you have
should
your
be-
medical thing set up on your phone?
Yeah, but mom's my emergency contact. Yeah, and now now it has two. I have two.
Ah, that's why you added
that makes
him to the
sense. A lot.
queue.
I was
Yeah.
worried.
I was worried they were going to call my husband.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
What
We're
a
just
tragedy.
filling out our passport applications, and it's like, who should we call, in case of an emergency outside of the country? And we both put our moms separately because we said, like, well, we'll be together also.
Totally.
Why would my emergency contact in my passport be Tim? They're going to call him and be like, is everything okay? No, we're both dead. Like, call my mom.
That's a great point, actually. That is another, like, great perspective of it is that, like, yeah, your significant other. Emergency for what? Like, you guys spend so much time together, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
yeah. Again, like, I just think about, I mean, like, yeah, Alex was super helpful when I hurt my knee because he literally carried me out of the freaking house.
Yeah, the video was hilarious.
Gotta post that still.
Yeah, should
But
definitely share that clip.
yeah, like it was so funny. Like when that happened, just like everybody came running, like mom and dad. I'm on my way. Alex is like, "Okay, leaving work right now." I'm like, "Perfect, thank you." And then I'm
Yeah.
like, I actually don't know what all three of you are gonna do when you get here. So like, maybe I rang the alarm bell like too quick because like,
stay here.
what's everyone gonna do? You know?
Yeah. No, definitely.
But it worked out, so it's all fine.
Oh my god. Allie, do you want to tell us about your flight or something crazy happened?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yesterday I was flying to Toronto and it was a scheduled flight. So it was
Aren't
scheduled
they
for
all?
two. Just wait.
Okay.
It was scheduled for 2:50 p.m.
Were some of them
And
like
in
on call? Like,
You can just hop on if there's a seat. They're like, "Yeah, come on."
yeah, fuck it, come on, yeah,
Yeah.
get in. Sorry, Allie.
Anyways, so I get a text a couple hours before from Air Canada, and it's like, your flight to Toronto is delayed because air traffic demand is too high at the destination airport. And I'm like, okay. And then I get another text, and it's like, delayed again. And it's like, okay, like, not really understanding how the air demand can be too much, air traffic demand, but whatever. It's an hour delayed. I get on the flight, everything's good, and then they come on the speaker, like right near the end of the flight. They're like, yeah, so we actually can't land. It's too busy at the airport. It's too much air traffic. So we went off the airport route, and we're just going to fly around until we can land.
Well, that's why it's freaking busy. If that's what everyone's doing.
Exactly. So we flew around for 35 minutes in circles around Toronto and then landed. So we were like 2 hours late. And I was just like, what? Like, at least give a good excuse, like lie and
that
say
is
it's
a good
maintenance.
excuse.
No, but you
Well,
can't.
maintenance
it's
is way
too busy.
scarier. You're in the air.
But like, it's a
Air traffic demand is a real thing.
But it's scheduled. You know how many flights are coming.
No, but
and-
they were all delayed from the ice storm, so then there's too many taking off at one time versus what they had planned.
But like, then why were we in the air and it was still too busy?
Well, if
Did
planes
they
are taking
plan?
off, planes can't be landing all willy-nilly.
I know, but why are they not knowing this when we took off? Why wouldn't they delay us? Like, we were just circling in the air. And I'm up there thinking, this is it. This is literally how I go. Like,
Yeah, that would be like, I would be like, I don't know. I feel like whenever you're kind of like around like an airport or airplanes, everything is conspiracy at that point. I don't believe what
Yeah.
anybody tells me. It's like every man for themselves, like. So if they were like, oh yeah, we're too busy, I'm like, okay, terrorist attack. Perfect.
and actually, when I got to the airport in Regina, the minute I walked in, they had security there at every door, and they were asking every single person that came in where they were flying to. And I was
Okay,
like,
this is spooky.
yeah,
I've
so I was
frequented
like,
that airport. You just walk in and do whatever the hell you want
there's
there,
no
usually.
one there. Literally, like I couldn't
probably
even
why
go to
they had
like, the
problems.
kiosk to print my bag tag without the guy. Like the security was right there, And he was like, where are you flying to today? And I was like, Toronto. And he's like, okay, have a good flight, ma'am. And there was like one of them at every single door. And then I got pulled for the extra screening. And I had, oh, this is actually embarrassing. I had 2 laptops with me because I'm returning my one work laptop to the office. And I also had a portable monitor, like, it's like this big, and my iPad. So I had to take them all out, and they had to, like, wipe, like scan everything, like every corner of everything I had.
They hate electronics, eh?
They really do.
They're just like, you have more than one laptop, you're done.
Yeah.
So then he walks me over to security, goes to put them in the bin, and he goes, this lady has an unusual amount of laptops. Since when is it a crime to fly with more than one? Like,
You're like, sweet burn, bro. I don't care.
You're jealous you don't have enough laptops.
Yeah.
right? Like,
You
I was
fucking nerd.
Like, what? And then the guy behind me was like laughing. He's like, oh yeah, that's so suspicious. Like, I was like, like, it's 2 Lenovo ThinkPads. It's not like it's like a homemade laptop. Like,
What do they think you're gonna do with those laptops?
for real. Like, if whatever I could do with 2 laptops, I could do with 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they think I was gonna be able to do something dangerous.
Okay, well now you're just bragging, Allie.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's like,
I'm just joking.
yeah. So that was my day yesterday.
Wow, that's
It was-
wild though. This brings me
Yeah.
back to how you said scheduled flight. And how like Darian and I both immediately kind of thought like you just go to the airport and you're like, oh fuck, a plane pulled up. Should we hop on it? Like,
This one's
Like,
open.
yes,
hey,
that's like
there's
being
seats over here. Do you
on-
want to get on this guy? And then like imagine that's how it worked. It's like fucking like, well, I guess like buses are
like on
scheduled too,
demand.
but like you
On
don't.
demand, yeah.
Was that?
On demand.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's like Uber. You're like, yeah, I'll order an Uber. Oh yeah, okay. If enough of us order in the same
Yeah.
vicinity, you know,
We might be able to take it.
be able to get on
I
this
mean,
plane.
they have Uber helicopters now.
They do.
Wow,
So-
could you imagine if you accidentally ordered one of those? Like, fuck, cancel.
Bankrupt you.
Just $40,000.
Yeah, bankruptcy. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Well, Allie, now that you're on, you should tell us your new stat too.
Yeah.
Yes, this is very exciting. So last week we got a new listener, and they were
Just
from
one.
they're from Poland.
Poland. Welcome. I know a couple Polish people. Love Poland.
Yeah,
Cool.
So I thought that was very exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, we love that in new countries. Welcome. Welcome to all of the people. Welcome to Illyria. That was another She's the Man thing. Never mind. So anyways, back to periods.
Wait, I have one more thing to tell you guys.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, so our dad got me like a Fire Stick thing. I don't know. Anyways, there's like this movie thing on there. I go on the movie app and like it went automatically to the kids shows, and the number one first show shows up, Angela Anaconda.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. No, Dad was showing me, oh yeah, and test how to favorite a show. And I was like, so, Angela. And then Adam comes in, he's like, it's Angela Anaconda. What are the odds? I was like, I've never seen that show before. And now it's the number one.
Traumatizing.
Wait. I have a follow-up about this. I saw this TikTok that was like, parents, what's the worst thing you've ever said to your kid? Like, worst, most unhinged parenting hack you've ever had. And this one comment was like, told my kid that Caillou died and we couldn't continue to watch. And they were like, because he has cancer? And the mom was like, yeah, he's dead. So they didn't
Wait, does he have
continue to watch the
cancer?
show. Well, it's this conspiracy theory because he's bald. Is that he's actually a kid with cancer. But how funny is that? Just being like, no, sorry,
Yeah,
Caillou
he's
died.
dead.
We can't watch him anymore.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah.
What was our obsession with Caillou?
The
Just
theme
that we
song.
both knew him?
Yeah, and we like the song.
Yeah. Not that we like knew him personally. Like I said that, like I'm like, oh yeah, like our boy Caillou.
Like our boy Caillou?
Have you ever met a man named Caillou?
No, I was just thinking that.
Wow. Could you imagine?
If I met a man named Caillou, I'd be like, shave your head.
if they were like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Caillou. I'd be like, are you just a boy who's
Who's
four?
four?
And today you learn some more?
That's no, for real.
Because I know a guy.
Yeah, I got just the guy for you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow,
Oh, wow.
that would be crazy.
That always brings me back. Anyways, we'll try this again. Back to periods?
Yeah, back to periods.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling like I'm so bloated right now that my pants hurt. Do you know?
Ooh, yep.
And you like feel the skin stretching, and you're like, I'll die. Like
Yep.
so bloated. On what day was that? Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. I was like overwhelmingly sad. You know, just about like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just like went to the bathroom. I came out and I was like, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't pinpoint it.
No.
He's like, "Do you think that maybe you're gonna get your period?" And I'm like, I don't know. You
Yeah.
know, like just like
Yeah.
so unbelievably sad that like,
I know. It's so weird that it happens, right?
oh, it was so crazy. And yeah, like a day later, I'm like, oh my God, I got my period. Shocker. Like,
I have this patient, I thought it was so crazy. She was like, I'm getting like back pain and this and that and blah, 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 or whatever. And she was like, but then my husband reminded me that I'm about to enter my luteal phase or whatever. And I was like, holy shit. Your husband be tracking your phases, girl?
unless you're trying to be pregnant, that's too much.
I don't know. I think that's pretty impressive. Like, do you track your phases or like, are you just like period or not period?
I don't have a regular cycle, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it'd be too hard for me to track. That's the other thing that I guess I've never really got with that. Um, I don't track my phases. No, it's just like,
I kind of like want to, but like I don't have anything to track, you know,
yeah,
because I don't really have a cycle. But like,
yeah,
I think it's so cool when like the women know what phases that they're in. Like, I feel like if I paid enough attention to it, I'd probably know like just based on like my symptoms, like week to week and stuff. Even
yeah.
though I don't like have like the, you know, shed part of it, I guess. Ew.
Yeah.
Sorry to any male listeners out there.
See, I get
Um,
like ovulation pain, like, because I get cramping so badly that I'll get it when like I'm ovulating.
mhm.
But I'm just kind of always like, ugh, what was that? And then I'm like,
Yeah,
probably ovulating. I think though what I don't like about the cycle tracking is it's almost becoming astrology. Like,
it is. Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
so
mean?
true.
People are like, oh man, well, you must be in your luteal phase. That's why you're moody. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, maybe you're just a bitch. Like,
You know what? So true. Pair that with being Mercury in retrograde. Fuck.
everything has its own fault then, you know? No one's taking any
Yes.
accountability for their actions. They're just like,
That's
oh,
so
I'm
true.
in my follicular phase and that's why I'm so sentimental. It's like,
Yeah.
you could just be nice. Like, it doesn't need like a whole thing behind it.
Yeah, just be fucking normal. How about that?
Yeah, just be the way you are is fine. Like, yeah.
You're like, now I'm mad.
Yeah, now I'm mad at you because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
You
my
ruined periods
Saturn
for
moon is
everyone.
rising, so yeah. I'm just like, whatever.
Uh,
Just my thought.
I find it like interesting though. Like, do you wear one of the rings? You don't have any of the
Or
rings, do
rings.
you?
No.
No. You're like,
I'm like, you want to
no.
check? No, I got this band-aid on my finger.
You're like a band-aid and a fucking engagement
And
ring.
again, I
That's
got
it.
nothing else here.
Yeah. I
No,
feel like
yeah.
also like with an engagement ring on your hand, you can't really rock the aura ring because it like it's pretty like out there. You know what I
Well, it's
mean?
a
Like
bulk, you know? It's a
yeah.
little bit of a... I
Yeah.
also saw a lot of people who've been posting that they've been like kind of, if they're kind of a hypochondriac, it's like no bueno because then they're like
Ah.
hyper fixating on their like symptom quality or whatever they get.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that would be me. I'd be like, oh dear God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though. Anyways, I might look into it more. Maybe I'll do like the basal body temp or something like that.
Yeah, I
But
feel
I also feel like that's so much admin every morning before you fucking move.
like that's why everybody moved to IUDs because you couldn't take a birth control pill. So like why would I move backward in time and now just track my temperature in the morning? Like,
especially every day. Like at least like your fucking birth control was, I mean, the 7 days. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Wait.
No, you had 7 days off.
Oh, that's right.
I was like,
It's been
you
so
were
long.
taking your birth control wrong.
Turns out I'm infertile because all of these years have been taking it wrong.
Fucking that up. No, but really, how many people do you know that were like, I can't remember to take the pill anymore. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I mean, quite a few probably. I feel like when that was happening though, like the IUD was not as popular when we were in North Dakota. You know what I mean? I feel like so many people were on the pill.
Yeah. I feel like the IUD might, this might be a North Dakota specific thing, you know, it might just be no good there.
Yeah,
It
maybe.
might be like, that's too permanent.
Yeah. That's true. God, 5 years, no child.
They can't be doing that.
No.
Think of how many people we know who could just simply never do that.
No. I'm like, fucking give me two.
Double them up.
How many can you fit in there?
I'll take a dual dose of that, please. Hopefully one of them will stick.
Two marinas, please. On the rocks.
On the rocks. Crikey.
Man. Um, I was going to say, pardon. I was thinking about Pangea. Did we talk about Pangea recently?
No. What are
You
your
know how the
thoughts?
Roman Empire was a thing?
Like, you know how Roman Empire was a thing?
Yeah.
Like in history?
Yeah, and then like also that it's like men think about this all the time,
Right, yeah.
you know.
You think about Pangea that often?
Well, I'm just thinking like how often do you think about Pangea?
Like twice a year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so infrequent.
Hmm.
Like when you said it, I was like,
You're
yep.
like, what's Pangea?
I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, I'm there.
Buffering, hold on.
Buffering.
Sorting files,
And I was
deleting files.
like, oh, yes. Okay, I've got it. Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, I was just thinking about it. I don't know. I feel like it's like one of those things that I like, not Pangea in specific,
Oh,
but you know when you hyperfixate on something and then you just it happens to like cross your mind 18 times a day.
yeah.
I'm a little hyperfixated on it. So,
Like that you feel it's unbelievable? Or just
well,
all of it?
I guess I'm just like more like the conspiracy over everything, you know? I'm like, how do we have such a divide in what happened when like somebody actually lived it, but then like they just lie?
Yeah.
Or did like somebody not believe them and then they twisted the story?
Also, like, the puzzle pieces fit together, but then again, there are a lot of flat earthers out there. So, like, yeah, there's, I don't know. I think about this a lot with
It's like
a
where's this
lot of,
disconnect, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't know.
do wonder if people just lied too, though. Like, if I were, like, writing my final legacy and I was the last person to know that fact, I would embellish a little, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
fair.
Yeah.
Well, it also had me thinking about like what classes like just shouldn't have been classes in school.
Oh, I have a really, like, a specific thought on this, actually. One of my kids was just telling me that they're doing, like, an income tax assignment.
Mm.
And so they have to like fully file it. Like they gotta go through the whole BC tax thing anyway. And I was like, that's a good one. Pre-calc shouldn't exist. I don't think there's any room for calculus unless you're going into a math major. When? Has that
When?
ever crossed my mind? But you know how many times I need to know how to do my taxes? Every fucking year until I die.
It's so true. We were talking about this the other day and we were talking about philosophy and I was like, wait, I didn't even have that compartment in my brain anymore, philosophy. I was like,
Yeah.
what philosophy of what? You know what I mean? I'm like, aren't there philosophies of like 18,000 different things?
Do whatever you want.
So, like, you take philosophy 101. What the fuck is the point of that?
That's actually so true.
You know? Like, just things like that. I'm like, what a waste of time. And, like, if you were to ask me what philosophy is, like, explain philosophy 101 in a nutshell, no idea.
I think if I were to someone ask me to define philosophy, I would say it's someone who's super passionate about one specific thing and wants to prove their theory to you.
Isn't Oscar Wilde a philosopher?
I have no idea. I don't even know who philosophers are. I think you can just
Me
be a
neither.
philosopher if you say it.
And then,
Is
like,
that right? Philosopher? Philosopher?
I think so.
It
A
doesn't even
philosophist?
sound like a right word. That's how made up it is to me.
Yeah, I think it's a philosopher. But like, you know, you see these quotes and stuff like that, these like famous quotes.
Right.
And then it's like from this person, philosopher. And it's like, okay, so you just said some bougie ass statement, chiseled it down on a fucking piece of shale, and now you're a philosopher?
No, really, it is just basically you can just title anything and be like, I'm a philosopher of this.
Hashtag philosophy.
The
Welcome, Allie.
actual definition of a philosopher is someone who engages in the study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, and reality, seeking wisdom and enlightenment through critical thinking and inquiry. So you are correct, nothing. They are.
Yeah.
You're just basically
Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you cannot explain, like me, chiropractor, bone cracker, okay? Done. You get it. You know? And
Yeah.
then philosopher, Allie just spoke for 30 seconds to give the job description of a philosopher. Like, and I'm still confused.
100%.
I also was saying that I feel like philosophy would be like starting a class and being like, welcome to Earth 101.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You know the first.
I'm sorry.
Actually, I think we were talking about this when we were in Europe. Was like that at, oh my God, where was that place? Oxford. That they had philosophers and they were doing that, but like the town thought it was like basically witchcraft. Which
As we should.
fair, it is witchcraft. Yeah, it's basically me being like, I don't believe what you said is true. I don't think that the Earth spins. If
Yeah.
you're a flat earther, you're actually a philosopher. There we have it.
There you go. You're welcome, everyone. And now you can retire.
Yeah.
We're all just philosophers. How do they get paid?
Well, see, I'm pretty sure one of our relatives has a PhD in philosophy.
Oh, wow. I mean, like, no offense to any of the philosophers out there tuning in, because, like, I mean, maybe
Can't
you
be that
can.
many.
Maybe there can't be that many. Maybe you can enlighten us, because it sounds like that's what you do.
I
sounds
think they
like
just research stuff. Like, I think that's how they make money is like, right? Because if you're a philosopher, you're questioning things, so then aren't you like looking into it?
But then wouldn't you
know.
be a scientist?
No, like I don't think you're researching like how like you wouldn't be doing like tests on things.
There's
I think
no
you're
evidence.
just, like,
There's just thoughts.
yeah, like you're just like
Thoughts
looking
and
up
vibes.
things, talking to people,
My vibe,
like
Pangea, no. I'm a
yeah,
philosopher.
like coming up with theories. That's essentially all you do.
I'm not interested in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that, anyways, Pangea brought me into all this, and I was like, what other classes were just absolute trash?
Yeah, that was a definitely one.
No, and calculus, that's a good one too, for sure. I agree. I agree with that.
Okay, so last week when we did our favorite things segment, Jay mentioned that we should do one where it's like, which TV character would you pick? So I made a list of sort of a this or that TV character edition. I guess a couple of these are actually from movies, but yeah. So yeah, there's no logic to this. Just, it started off, we talked last week about Vampire Diaries, Damon versus Stefan. Same kind of thing. So we're starting off strong here. The first one is Edward or Jacob. This is Twilight for those who
Jacob.
Jacob.
don't know. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. I mean, is it a little fucked up, like what he did in the end? Yes, absolutely. But like, if we're talking about vibes, Edward gives me the absolute creeps.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Moving on.
Anyways, next one, How I Met Your Mother. Barney or Ted? And this
Barney.
leads
Barney.
me into a second part. Barney, okay, this leads
Ted's
me into
the
a second
worst
part
character
then.
in TV history.
Ted
I
is
agree.
the actual worst. Like,
10 out of 10, the worst character to have ever
Oh.
existed.
you go back and you watch it, and you're like, Ted, I know why you're single. You are the problem.
Yeah, I'm always like, boo, yeah.
Fuck you, Ted.
Fuck you, Ted, you suck. Yeah. Sorry, I just thought there was a second part, and then I just had
Well, it was kind of just about like the relationship version. So like I was gonna say Robin and Barney or Robin and Ted, but obviously we're going
to Robin and Barney.
Yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite TV show episodes in history is the final play in
I
the
just got
playbook.
goosebumps.
I just
That
got goosebumps too.
and like the one where Schmidt proposes to Cece, and then Rivers and Rhodes plays. Makes me sob every time. Those two. Yeah.
Those two, those are the best. Like, oh, no proposals will ever top those.
No.
And if you are listening and you've never seen that, I am crying to fucking all of the gods out there that you watch that episode when Barney is doing the final play of his playbook.
So good.
And have some tissues ready.
Yeah. Actually, have some tissues for the whole series because when Marshall's dad.
Oh. No. Oh my
Stop.
god.
Okay,
Spoilers.
moving on.
Moving on.
Did you guys watch the show Arrested Development?
No.
Okay, moving on. Michael Scott or Dwight Schrute?
Dwight Schrute.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm picking between my dad and my uncle, you know? Like, but like, no, that's not true. That's not, like, no, Dad, obviously I would pick you. You know what I mean? Like, that's all.
Just want to make that clear.
But I feel like it's me picking between my dad and my dad,
Yeah.
I guess. You know?
Yeah.
I think I would choose Michael Scott.
Fair. Okay, Parks and Rec. Leslie or Ron? Ron Swanson? Leslie, no.
I love Ron Swanson, but Leslie's just...
She's your girl.
She's my gal. She's so good.
I agree.
Lorelai or Rory?
Oh my god, I'm not a Gilmore Girls girl.
They're actually both so deeply flawed. I think Rory's a little bitch, so I'm gonna pick Lorelai. Even though Lorelai's also kind of a bitch, but Rory's like the deepest bitch of all time.
Oh my god, when she sleeps with Dean and then she's like, no, he's my Dean. And I'm like,
You're such a fucking stupid bitch. And also when she drops out of Yale, I'm like, oh my god, you're such a stupid bitch. Yeah.
yeah.
Can't contribute, sorry.
Okay, Rachel or Monica for Friends? From Friends.
It's a tough one. Because honestly, like, I just wouldn't choose either of them if I had to pick out of all the Friends characters.
Yeah, but then I have a harder question for you then.
Well, then I would
Ross
pick
or Phoebe?
Phoebe. Ross is literally the worst. Ross is the second worst TV character of all time next to Ted Mosby.
Next to Ted, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say, I think maybe Monica and then, yeah, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monica's relatable, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, new girl. Winston or Schmidt?
I played the fifth.
That's a really tough one. I don't know if I can make that call because they have different character arcs for me. It'd be Schmidt at
Give
the
me a
start.
season. Yeah.
It'd be Winston near the end. Yeah, I don't know.
I think Winston overall.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so too.
and then immediate regret. As soon as I said that, then I was like, nope.
Love Schmidt's character, but I'm just like obsessed with Winston.
Schmidt has been good since the beginning. You know what I mean? The problem is that they didn't let the characters develop naturally in the beginning. They were so rigid on what they wanted them to be, and then I feel like once they realized that all of the actors were hilarious, they were like, oh, let's let them be, and then they all became so much funnier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think they were too rigid with Winston in the beginning.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is a movie one. Katniss, this is Hunger Games, or PETA?
Katniss.
Yeah, I think Katniss. Peeta's kind of a little bitch, eh?
Yeah. I'm just
agree.
like, I had to like go back and be like, what did happen? I loved PETA for a while, like, but yeah, no, I think Katniss. Katniss did kind of fuck around in the beginning though, especially
Katniss is
with
kind
fucking Liam Hemsworth, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Katniss is kind of also though. She's like questionable at times. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
where are your morals, girl? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
Okay.
Katniss though.
3 more.
all right.
Raymond Holt or Jake Peralta?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You got
Oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I assumed you watched it because you're half normal, but
Wrong.
I would say Raymond Holt.
yeah. Okay.
You answer then.
Yeah, what would yours be?
Jake.
Wow, it's like
Yeah.
you guys are sisters. Polar opposites.
Okay, Gossip Girl. Blair or Serena?
Blair.
Blair.
Blair, yes. Yes, that's
Blair,
correct.
Team Blair.
There is a correct and incorrect on that one. Okay, last one. Grey's Anatomy, McSteamy or McDreamy?
McSteamy.
Dreamy. Ooh.
I'll be the tiebreaker, McDreamy.
I feel like he fucked around too much, you know? He's kind of a little bitch.
Again, I feel like all of these are like dependent on like how well you know them. You know, are we in season 3 or are we in season 37? You
Yeah.
know?
Because let me
True.
tell you, the hatred for Derek Shepherd got more with more seasons. But like, Mark
But I
died. You could only
So
love
did
him.
Derek.
Yeah, but like so far after you hated him. You already
No,
hated
like
him that
2
whole
seasons
season.
later.
No, you hated him that whole season because of the shit he was doing. You're like, I'm done with you. I'm kind of over you. And then he dies. But Mark dies at his peak love, where you're like,
That's true.
now I
Yeah, that
remember
is
your
true.
love.
It's so tragic when he died.
And so much
Remember when our
potential.
coach ruined my fucking life by telling me that he died? Before I
No.
got to that, we got on the bus for a road trip, and someone was like, "Oh, how's Grey's Anatomy?" Because I had been just watching it for the first time in my whole life. I
Oh,
was like, "That's pretty good," you know. Like they're like, "What's happening in the show?" And I was like, "Oh, Lexi and Mark are just like getting together." And our coach was like, "Ah, it's too bad they died in a plane crash next season." I was like, "What?
she's the worst.
What the fuck
Literally
is wrong
the
with you?"
biggest plot ruiner in an entire series. Like,
I was like,
Wow.
"You might as well have just kicked me in the head." Like,
Kick me right in the crotch. Fuck.
in the crotch. Susan, god damn it. Fuck.
Hmm.
well, that's all from me. That's fun.
Well, I
Well,
guess we should wrap it.
Yeah. Well,
Also
wonderful. Well,
wearing-
thank you,
wearing
Allie.
My shirts.
Reppin', reppin' the colors. I got mine on.
I don't have mine on. I'm sorry.
Darian was
Darian
working. She's
sucks.
making that money today.
Making that bread, making that bread.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, well, it was a fun little ep. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.